What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Vibe Tech Podcast. You're listening to your boy Prashanth Murali, and we have an interesting guest all the way from Essex, United Kingdom. And before I introduce her, I would like to tell you she's a fitness trainer for kids and adults, and she's a dancer and a pioneer in Essex for crumb dancing. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Sarah, aka Reps, aka Girl Ryan. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Riots up, reps up.
Some crump energy right away. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. Yeah. And how would you like me to call you with your name, Sarah, or Reps, or?
You know what? I have so many names. Actually, most of my close people call me Does. That is my Does, yeah, like dozen. So my surname is Baker. So it's Baker's Dozen, and then they shortened it to Does, and then so all my close people call me Does. But actually, like my crump name is Reps, Girl Riot. My government name is Sarah. When my middle name is Lauren, so when I'm in trouble, I'm Sarah Lauren. Like when I'm in trouble with my family, it's Sarah Lauren.
That's crazy.
So you could call me whatever. Any of them 500 names I just gave you.
Yeah, so we're not going to use Lawrence because you're not in trouble. You're here to have fun. Probably I'm going to stick with Reps, which I got to know you in the first place. And I'm going to stick with Reps. So what's up, Reps? Cool. How was your vibe today?
How's my vibe?
Yeah, how's your vibe?
Yeah, my vibe is always on point. However, I'm always tired, so I try to push through it. As an adult, I think everyone is just always tired because we've got so much pressure on ourselves, and we have to do so much all the time just to survive and to live. I think as adults, we're just always tired, but we just keep it moving.
Yeah. So what made you to move today? Like, what's the mindset or motivation behind that?
What's the mindset and motivation? Oh, wow. You know what? I always have to motivate myself. I always look at other people as well, obviously, to, motivate me and inspire myself. But the only person that's going to get me out of bed and get stuff done is myself. So I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. So I'm really hard on myself. So if I'm like, if you don't get up and do this, who are you? What are you doing? Like, you've got this life, use it, do something with it. So every day, no matter how tired I am, I get up and I just get stuff done because you have to.
That's so true and so inspiring that you shared that, because we are our own barrier and we have to break that every single day. And that's what I got from what you said. And that's amazing you said that. Tell us a little about your career and your introduction to dancing.
Oh, wow. That's a big question. How long have we got? Okay, so let me just take a sip of my tea quick.
Sure. Cheers to that. Yeah.
Cheers to that. Okay, so my career, like you said, I'm a fitness instructor. I'm also a dance teacher. So I teach kids and I teach adults. I don't believe in there's an age in which you should start or stop. I think dance and movement is for everyone. So I try to encourage everyone and anyone to dance, move, and look after themselves, because we have one life, one body, and it's our instrument, but it's also our home as well. So we need to take care of our home. So dance and fitness really is like close to my heart, because it's two things that really, I think, marry well. So dance, I like, obviously, if you're a dancer, and obviously you're a dancer yourself, you know how it helps every single aspect of your life, not just creatively, but mentally, physically, socially. There's so much that it helps with, obviously with coordination and rhythm and everything as well as you're growing up. And then fitness as well. Like I said, our body is our home, so we need to take care of it. And even though dancers, dance is a form of exercise, we don't necessarily really, dancers, we really batter our bodies. We really we push it to the limits, and we need to rest, we need to stretch, we need to work all of the muscle groups, we need to warm up properly, we need to cool down properly. A lot of dancers don't, they just go straight in, go ham, go home, and then we're broken. So with the with the fitness side of things, I really I want to dance for as long as I can. So with my fitness, I need to nurture my fitness to enable my dance. So this is why I try to bring them both together. And so I love teaching fitness classes, and I say fitness classes rather than exercise classes, because I like to drop gems in my classes. So I don't just bring the participants in, make them sweat hard and work out and then, okay, bye, see you next week. I make sure they know that, you need to use some time to recover, and how to recover, and stretching and resting and eating well, sleep. There's a difference between rest and sleep. Resting isn't just sleep. You need to sleep. That's a whole separate thing. Resting comes in with sleep, but people just think, oh yeah, I had 8 hours sleep, so I've rested, so I can train 7 days a week, twice a day. You need rest time, and so anyway, I'm going in.
Yeah. So what
the extra.
Yeah. What do you think is the difference between resting and sleep? Do you think, so let's say sleep requires more rest to your brain, to your body, and how would you differentiate rest in terms of training or being an athlete or someone who's highly productive with their body most of the time? How would you differentiate that?
Okay, so obviously there's loads of different things you said there with like athlete, and then just someone who's into exercise. Everyone will have to timetable their rest a little bit differently to work with their schedule. A lot of people, we have what's called active rest, so they will keep going, but they will have to take a rest or a break from one thing. So for example, right now, because I'm doing an online tournament, there's more I'm having to do more dance in my day or in my week than what I would usually schedule. So because of that, I've had to cut down on my gym sessions, and I've had to schedule them to really work around my dance schedule, and to obviously not overwork myself. So rather than doing 4 days a week of gym, I'm now only doing 2, but I'm making sure that I'm doing it properly. And I'll make sure that I'll only do like an hour max. I'm not going to be in there for 2 hours just because I'm doing 2 sessions a week. So resting could be anything from like stripping things back to having a full day of not doing any activity at all, and just moderate exercise such as walking. Like walking is the best, and just taking more time to just sit and be still. That could be rest. And also switching off from anything, like even just studying. So it could be from the screens, from like books that like are within the study, just to to rest your mind a little bit, because I read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of documentaries that's constantly feeding my, what I want to do. But sometimes I just need to take a break and let my mind rest as well as my body. And so I will watch something completely mindless, or I'll just sit in silence and read a book that's, fictional. So just to take a complete break from on studying, that could be a form of rest. Sitting down and having a good meal and a chat with someone, that could be a form of rest, compared to just going to sleep and trying to get your 7 to 8 hours in. When you go to bed, sometimes you're not fully resting, especially if you go to bed just off of something you're thinking about or worrying about. You're going to bed still subconsciously going through that in your sleep, so you're not rested. So I always say to my students as well, if you want to learn something like say a piece of choreography and they're struggling on a certain part, I tell them, just before you go to bed, if you want to push that a little bit further, just before you go to bed, just go through that one section. And then when you go to sleep, subconsciously, your mind is going to be rehearsing that for a good 20 minutes and then during your sleep. So it's almost like a cheat code to carry on learning. But sometimes if you do that over time, you're then not resting your mind and body, because you're going to sleep and you're thinking about that. So sometimes it's good to, wind down before. So like yesterday, because I told you about my mad weekend that I had, and so tired. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a bath. I'm gonna put some soothing music on. I'm gonna pamper myself a little bit, and then I'm just gonna lay in the dark on my I have an acupuncture mat because my body was hurting. So I just laid on my mat, and I just closed my eyes and just didn't. I was thinking of things, but I can't even remember what I was thinking about now. But I was just thinking about things, and eventually I was just there. I guess it's my form of meditation. I don't really actively meditate, but then after that, I was completely I've wound down. I was fine. So then I went to sleep, and I just had the best night's sleep because I didn't think of anything. And I woke up, and I was like, right, let's go, restart, reset. I've rested. So I'd say that's like the difference between just going to sleep. Anyone, you could just go to sleep. Sometimes you go to sleep with carries on in your sleep. Our body will recover. We need that time to recover. So the sleep will help to recover the lower impact on our body if we take rest days from not doing exercise or not dancing, cardio, weights, whatever you do, you take full days off. That's going to allow the body to recover. Then you can work work more efficiently. So recovering and rest goes hand in hand, not just sleep. You do need to stick with your timetable and your schedule, because the more you work and you push yourself, there shouldn't be a badge of honor for overworking. A lot of people do that now. It's like, oh yeah, I do this and this and this. I'm overworking. I'm not even sleeping anymore now, and wear it as a badge of honor. It's like, oh no, you're hurting yourself by doing that, and you'll never actually work as efficiently because you'll be so tired, and your body will be like, I can't keep up with this. So you just have to be realistic and work around your timetable. So like I said, at the moment, I'm doing the online tournament. So my gym, I've cut back so I could work more efficiently when I am in the gym and when I'm doing the tournament. So I don't know if that's helped you at all.
It definitely does. You know what I got from that? visualization, that was one key thing that you told your students that really works. As a dancer, it helped me in certain aspects in my dancing career in order to visualize when I go to sleep, and I was able to perform the next time I got a chance. And that's what I learned. And timetable, you were talking about timetable. That's crazy, like having a schedule of notifying ourselves how hard you're working on your goal, but still you need the rest. That's part of the timetable, right? And as you gave us various ways to rest, and you also spoke about meditation, your form of meditation, the acupuncture bed. I've never heard that before. Maybe I should get one for me too. You know. And,
they're really good.
Yeah. So that's something that will definitely help us, right? And sleep is just, the body shuts down by itself eventually, no matter how far we push our minds and body into it. Sometimes we get the notification to calm down a little bit. It's not something we always require to keep pushing ourselves to the limit, and then just like a mobile phone, die out, right? We need time to recharge. Yeah.
We need to recharge. Yeah. Oh, good word. Recharge.
Recharge. Yeah. So let's continue with your career. So that gave us a little insight about your teaching and everything. Let's get into the dancing perspective. So tell us, what is the crumb scene in Essex?
Oh, there isn't one. I am it. So there's me and Braze. No. Actually, I mean in our area. So Essex is big. So where we live, there's literally 2 crumpers. There's me and Braze. But in the whole of Essex, there's a few of us. But because it's quite big, we don't like see each other. We don't meet each other. But that is something that we need to do. We need to bring the whole community together. But a lot of people have their fams and have their crews, and they kind of stay together, which obviously, you know, you have your own fam labs, you have your own crew labs, so I understand that. But it would be good to have a bigger community where everyone comes together and everyone sessions together. We used to have quite a lot quite regular sessions that Braze used to put on, called Build Your Hype. They used to run every last Friday, but sometimes it would be either before or slightly different dates, but it used to be around the last Friday of every month in London. So that's when a lot of people used to come together and meet up and battle. Since the pandemic, it's been very difficult to get big sessions happening again, and large events. But we have one which is where I used to live, in my old hometown, in Cambridgeshire. There's a session that's happening every month now, in Ely. So the Ely session, run by Crooked District. So we're finally getting a regular session back up. So that's where a lot of the crumpers now are coming to meet. And as we get more and more out of the pandemic, like fingers crossed, we can start opening up more big sessions and events in London. But as for Essex, we haven't got, I mean, especially where me and Braze are from. I mean, me and Braze live together, so we just session in our living room because it's just us 2.
That's really
we don't
dope,
need to go anywhere.
Yeah, you always have a partner right next to you to crumb. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So how did you what or who introduced you to crumb?
Oh, you know what? I actually introduced myself to crumb, and this is what happened. Tell
us more about it. Yeah.
So I I was at this there like years and years ago, before I even became a crumper. Like, because I saw crump, and then probably about 6 years after that was when I got into crump. Or maybe, it could have been. I'm trying to calculate the dates in my head, but years ago in London, in central London, my friend Hooch, DJ Hooch, he runs the UK B-boy champs in London. And he started to hold a night at a place called he called the night District, the District. And it was a place where he hired a few DJs, and it was a place for everyone on the dance scene to come on a Saturday night and just dance, maybe battle each other if they wanted to, but it was more of a party kind of vibe. So I was there, and the DJ put Anti Up on, and then all of a sudden, people in the crowd just started going mad. And then these dancers were just like proper getting off. And I was like, what is this? What is this? What is this style? I like, the energy was crazy. And I was like, I love this energy. And I love how they're feeding each other. And it's just like, soon as one's done, the other one's coming in, answering back, but they're building each other up, and the energy is just going like this. And I just watched for ages. And I said to the DJ, and I was like, what is this style? I haven't seen this style before. And they said, oh, that's crump. And I was like, okay, so let me look at this. And one of my students at the time, here's my bro. And I said to him afterwards, it's like, I've seen this style. This is your style. I know it is. I need to get you to do this style, or at least see and witness this style. And he was like, okay. And I had no idea what I was going on about. I couldn't show him what I meant. And I was like, yeah, they were all like, no, I need to show you, because I can't show you myself because it was something I couldn't explain. So one of the guys that was there, I got introduced to, so I got his information, and I was like, I need to bring him down to where I live. So Ely was where I used to live, which I talked about earlier about the session that's running now. And I brought him down to meet my student, and I said, look, I'll stay with you, and I'm paying for this lesson, and I'll do it with you, so you're not like by yourself. And so I brought him down, and then he taught my student, and then my student was like, yeah, this is for me. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I started to bring more and more people down to teach crump workshops at my school, so my student could get more and more information. So this is how I was seeing more crump, because he really got into it. I keep going like that, like he's there, but he's not there.
That's the crumper in you. That's your focus point, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, he really got into it, and then he started to travel to London and started to learn off like loads of people, and he got into a fam. He got into the Crook fam. And he started to go to events. So every time he was going to an event, I was like, I'll come and support you. Like, I'll be there in the crowd, I'll help you. And then if they didn't have enough people to enter, or there wasn't a lot of people there, I was like, okay, I'll fill out the numbers. Like, I'll just be there to support, or I'll do the workshop to fill out the numbers, because you're my bro. I want to support you. So I was there doing pre-selections of crump. I'd watched the workshops, but I hadn't, and I'd done a couple to support, but I wasn't into crump. But I just done pre-selections and stuff just to help support their event and help support him. And then from that, I picked up, like, he made me his little homie, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't like doing crump. It was weird. I didn't like doing it, but I loved watching it. And he made me his little homie, and I was sister too tough. And then from doing like supporting these events and going to workshops to support him, I picked up another big homie, and I became baby chosen. And then then I became, after a while, became soldier chosen. And I was like, but I'm not like really into crump. Like I was more into hip hop, house, b-boying. That was my thing. But I was following crump for my student, and he, from my student, got a few of my other students into crump as well. So there was like a group of them. So whenever we trained, the b-boy music will turn off, and I'll be like, oh, okay. And then the crump music will come on. I was like, oh, okay, we're doing crump now. And so I'd just be there. And so I was just there. I was just there. I wasn't really doing anything. I loved watching it, didn't like doing it. Completely different story now. But it got to about, I think it was like 2017, I'd been supporting and coming to lots of like different sessions and different events and workshops to support my students. And then I was like, all of a sudden, I'd gone through like a bit of a bad breakup, and I was like, I need some sort of release. What can I do? And the session that I was talking about, the Build Your Hype session, I started to go to that because I thought my friend would be there. So I needed a friend at that time. But he said he'd go, and then I'd turn up and he wouldn't be there. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm just I'm stuck at this session. My friend's not there. And so I just dance. And that's when I was like, you know what? These people are really cool. And some people started to help me. And I was like, I think I'm going to learn this. I think I'm going to learn this. And then I'm an all or nothing person. So when I decided I'm going to learn this like properly now, and not just be there for the sake of being there for other people, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this for myself. And this is going to be my outlet. And it was, and I haven't stopped since. And I've done whatever I can to learn and be present and take as many opportunities as I can. And yeah, so here I am now. So it's 2017, 2021. So we're like 4 years deep now.
Yeah.
And
pretty rooted for sure. Like, we are grateful that the crumb has you, and I think you will be really grateful about that too, because you were connected way before you started dancing to crump, right? You got so connected with the energy aspect of it, and I feel crump in life goes hand in hand. Like, crumpers have to release, people have to let go. Like, in life, it's all one and the same for me. That's why with your story, I could understand when certain things that happened in your life, you needed that release. And somewhere your friend, like, this is so nice to hear from me, because you chose and watched crump and helped crump for your friend, for your bro. And the same thing you expected from your friend, but it turned out to be different. He wasn't there, but with different situations.
He was just at uni, and he was too tired to come. So
nothing
uni
bad
life
about
got
him. Nothing bad about him. Just connecting the story that I heard, that when you expected a small push from somebody, just want to connect, but it turned out to be a whole different environment for you, where you felt, oh, these people are cool, irrespective you know them or you don't know them, because we all speak the same language of crump. And that's what really was mesmerizing for me, like how you landed up in crump, and within 4 years. And I've seen you dance, and others also will definitely check you out, and you're gonna be a world champ soon. That I told you in person. I love your style of crump. I've told you that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Always.
I mean, obviously that's a dream, but Crump has given me so much. I mean, most of the people that I have met through Crump are now like they're my forever people. They're I know these so many people who I've met all over the world who have literally become my bros, my sis, and family, like real family. And I mean, my boyfriend, he's a crumper as well. So every aspect of my life now has become crump. Whereas before I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I just want to watch it. I want to do it. So I was watching my life actually, that is, which, you know, has become my whole life. Like my best friends, my boyfriend, the love of my life, like crump is now me.
That's crazy to say. You are crump, we are crump. That's how we finally end up being over the years of training and pushing our limits every single day. And what do you think about sessions? Since I belong to Southside Allies in India, like southern part of India, and we have something called Southside Allies. So where this movement has connecting different cities together so that we could dance under one umbrella, and something something that we have for years now. Like it's been 2+ years, and we have more interested crumpers growing up around the cities. So whenever we get a chance, we session big time, and so that's where I'm heading to. So when you started in Essex, it was just you and your boyfriend, and there was a student of you. And what do you feel the importance of session is? Like whenever you go to London or any other part of the world from your travels, what do you think moves you or teaches you from sessioning?
Oh, sessions. They're everything. You know, I used to hate sessioning when I started. I used to go in like shaking. I'm like, stop shaking. Like, why am I shaking? And it's just like all eyes on you. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? And I start to overthink and I'd be like, oh, I don't know how to session. And then the hype, like, even though I loved the energy and the encouragement, it used to be like, oh, quickly, I've got to do something because people are telling me to do something and I don't know what to do. And I used to hate it, and I never understood the session because I thought it was more of a showcase, and I'd have to showcase and be like, okay, I've got to please. But actually now, obviously now I've learnt more and been had more experience from when I started. I've realized the session is actually for you and not for everybody else. And it's your moment to just release, be free. There's no restrictions. You can do whatever you like. You can be whatever character you like. And you can feed off the energy, but not be pressured by the energy. The energy will just feed you to get whatever you want to get out, or just to vibe with people. So I love sessions because I think it really brings people together, and it's not all about battle. We're not like, you know, everyone's one in a session. And a session, you could be dancing and you could be helping somebody watching the session and be like, oh, now I want to dance, I want to go in, and then make that person feel like so much better. They could be having a bad day. You don't know what's going on with everybody around you. People have bad days, but you don't know about it. People have stuff going on, but you don't know about it. And the session can really pick people up. So I love sessioning. I feel like people need to really use the session to uplift and let out, and just bring everyone together. And the session is really, for me, this is just my opinion. People can have obviously different opinions, but I feel like the session is where you really step out from your box and really test what you've been labbing as well, what you've been training. and because it puts you on the spot, and you to do it there and then, and to be able to control your emotions, control your movement, control the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, sessions are a vibe. Yeah, I like sessions.
Me too.
And I think no matter what age you are, whether you've just, whether you're a kid, adult, you've just started, or you're advanced, whatever, I think the session is for everyone. And there's no boundaries. That's great.
Yeah, definitely. It's so uplifting, as you said, and it is a priority for all sorts of crumpers to be a part of, because we definitely can learn from each other every single time, right?
Yeah.
And also release and be uplifted by ourselves and by our surroundings, just like other crumpers. It's so crazy to hear that from you. And can you tell us your difficult part in your career, something that you had to fight, as you told us earlier that you are a fighter, you fight for yourself, you're an hard worker, right? And can you share something, a difficult path that you had to go through to get where you are today?
Do you mean in dance, or do you mean in life in general?
In general, in life.
In general.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take it back to 2019. I'd say that's where. So I was like 2 years deep into krump. Obviously, my career is very physical. I'm a dance teacher. I'm a fitness instructor as well. I like to travel a lot, so it would be sort of every other month I'd be away for a long weekend, trying to go to different events. I was doing a lot, and trying to get as much as I could do with my life, and I think I was doing it well. And then it got to during that year of 2019, I was getting sick, and I obviously I had to go through loads of tests and hospital appointments after hospital appointment, and it turned out I had a few tumors, and I had one tumor that was very big in my stomach. And in the space of, I think it was October, I think my last scan was October. Sorry, my not my last scan. It was like my second to last scan. They done a scan, and it was like 7 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and it was in almost like a full circle. And it was like a ball. And then when it got to, they were like, okay, we need to remove this. It should be like a keyhole surgery. It should take 6 weeks recovery. So it's like, okay, I need to get this removed. I need to get it tested to see how, if it's cancerous or if it's benign. But then I got really ill from it, and I was just in a lot of pain all of the time. I'd be sick a lot. I'd be very, very tired. And the way that it was moving around in my body, it would affect my kidneys. So I started getting kidney infections, bladder problems, eating problems, like I couldn't eat, 'cause then I'd be ill. So it was really hard with my job to keep going, to keep this happy, energetic person in my classes, because I can't say to my children, yeah, I don't feel well today, so I'm going to do like minimal effort. They don't know, they don't care. They're like jumping around, running into the studio full of energy, and I had to match that and control that as well. I was very, very ill, and I'd mask it for a while, for that whole year. And then I had to have another scan not long after that. And then that's when it had grown to like 20 something centimeters, like in a month. And we were like, this needs to come out right now because it's growing very, very big, very quickly. So I had to have major surgery because it had grown so big that they then had to obviously open my stomach up and get it out. So when they got it out, I weirdly, I was like, can you take some pictures of it, please? Because I want to see what I've been living with for this year. And so in the operating theatre, my surgeon, he was like, okay, I've never been asked that request, but I will take pictures and I will copy them out for you. I was like, thank you. And then he got it out, and he said that it had actually grown even more. So it was 42 centimeters by 38 by the end. So it was huge. So it was a lot bigger than a lot major surgery than what I had, and then I had a few more, and they were luckily they were smaller, so they got them out as well. So I had 2 operations at the same time, and so then I was in hospital, and they said it was going to be a 3-month bed rest and then 6 months full recovery. So I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna? I'm not going to be able to teach. I'm not going to be able to dance. I'm not going to be able to do anything. So there's me going from teaching 25 classes a week, gym 4 or 5 times a week, dance training, to nothing. And I didn't know how someone so active, constantly on the go. Obviously, I wasn't allowed to travel or anything. How am I going to go from everything to nothing? So I had to classes, but then I also had to cancel a lot of classes, and then I had to get a lot of cover for 3 months from my classes. So that put a lot of strain, not only financially, but obviously mentally, because I was worried about my whole career just ending, and then physically having to recover. During that time in hospital, I developed an infection. I started to develop an infection, and I woke up in the hospital one night, and I couldn't feel the whole right side of my leg. But I could feel my arm, so it wasn't all the way up, but it was like up to my waist, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just dead, but I couldn't feel it, and I kept trying to pick up the leg, and I couldn't. So basically, I'd started to get an infection in my back that then made me paralyzed in my right leg. So then I've gone from, okay, now I might not even be able to walk again. Now I might not even be able to do my whole career ever again. So, I mean, to cut a long story short, they said they didn't know whether it was going to be permanent or not. So I was left with this in limbo. I didn't know what was going to happen. And obviously, I got rid of the infection. That they were really good. That whatever they gave me, it worked. I don't know what they were pumping into me, but it worked. It fought the infection. My body fought the infection, and luckily I got the feeling back on my leg quite quickly, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I still had some numbness in my foot that lasted right up until last year, December. In December last year, I still couldn't feel. If someone went like this on the top of my foot, I wouldn't have been able to feel it. So there was still some part of it was still there. Luckily now I've got all feeling back, and I'm okay. But I had to go from obviously recovering from my operations in my stomach, to then recovering my leg and being able to walk again. When I was recovering more and I was able to do more exercise, so I was allowed to walk a little bit. Sometimes it was almost like the reaction, I guess, like my mind and legs didn't sync properly, and sometimes I would stand up and I just collapse because my the mind and muscle wasn't in sync. And so on the right side, my leg was still funny. And then after time, more healing, everything's fine, and I can get up quick and I can run now, whereas before had to get up really, really slowly just in case I'd collapse. So I went from obviously doing everything to doing nothing. And then it got to March 2020 and I was allowed to start doing a little bit more. And I was allowed to go visit my classes and sit in my classes, but I wasn't allowed to do them. And I was only allowed to do that for an hour a day just to ease me in. And then by the end of March, I was able to start to do direct my classes a little bit more, not do them, but direct them. So I can move around a little bit, but I couldn't jump around, I couldn't dance or anything like that. And so I started to do that, but then I went for one day and the pandemic happened and the whole of the UK got locked down. So I'd already been since December in lockdown in my bed and in the hospital and in my bed. And then I come out for 1 hour, 2 hours, something like that. And then the whole of the UK goes in lockdown. But it done me good because then I was able to get that full 6 months of rest, because I know myself, if the lockdown hadn't happened, I would have gone in too quickly and be like, yeah, I can stand up, I can walk now. So now I can teach and I could go back to teaching all my classes, and I probably would have done myself more damage. But so the lockdown, that helped me a little bit. So I was able to rest to the full 6 months. And then it got to May 2020 and there was Rex on the MBH online tournament. And there was a tournament in the UK as well, which was called For the Culture. And they were both online tournaments, obviously, because of the pandemic. And I was like, right, let me just see if I can move, remember crump or anything. Let me see if I could do this. So I'd done a couple of rounds and I just put them down as my pre-selections. I didn't even think I'd get through. I hadn't danced in 4 months, 5 months, and I was just doing this to try and get the ball rolling again and see where I'm at and where, because I felt like I needed to start again. But I actually got through both pre-selections. So then I had two online tournaments at the same time. And I was like, oh, okay, now I need to work because I've got through. And I ended up both tournaments both at the same time. And I ended up being in the finals for both of them. So I threw a lot of rounds. So I went from doing nothing to then doing 2 tournaments at the same time and getting to the finals on both of them, which for me was crazy because I was thinking, okay, 2 months ago I couldn't even walk, and now I'm competing. It's just amazing what the body and mind can allow you to do and help you out. So I'd say that was something I definitely had to overcome, physically and mentally, because I didn't know, like I said a couple of months ago, I didn't know whether I was going to even be able to dance again.
Yeah.
And then I had to nurture my body back to health, and then just dive straight back into it. And since then I just haven't stopped. I've done everything that I could possibly do. Yes. Oh, I try to be.
Yeah. Such a powerful story, Reps. Thanks for sharing that story with us, because it kind of really shows us how powerful you are as a human being, and how much rebuilding that you have gone through in your life to be where you are today. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. I think everyone is powerful. Everyone is powerful, and everyone has a story. Everyone goes through something. I mean, not everyone that, like I said before, like when I was talking about the session, you don't know what everyone's going through in their life. You never know. No matter whether it's big or small, you can't rate someone's feelings. If they're feeling a certain way or going through something that might be minor to you or might be major to you, at the end of the day, everyone goes through something, and it's how you deal with that and react to that. Every action has a reaction. So if you're having a bad day, how are you going to react to that? And I think everyone has their story, and going through something, there's always a way to get past it, I believe. Totally. I believe no story is greater than anybody else's. I think we're all on this world together trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to live, we're trying to survive and make something with our lives. So
that was great. We're all one for sure, right? Irrespective of what color, where we from, or what education background, or it all doesn't matter. It's just as part of creating our identity for the society. But what we are inside is all one. That's so amazing that we could express that honestly to each other. Even we are from overseas, right? Like we are so far away, but we're also connected. And I'm grateful, and I agree totally for what you said, because we connected in the name of Crump, which is also similarly shares the same message. Like that's what I believe in too. Like any craft or anything that we are passionate or we have a dedication towards that's gonna give us the same message. And that's why I feel everything's so connected in life. Life is the ultimate teacher. Right? Yeah. And I'm glad, and I think it's really great to have you back at full potential. And I know you're bringing in so many damages in the name of Crumb. So many. Like it's gonna be really entertaining for all of us to watch you dance and do your stuff. Definitely.
Oh, thank you. Like I said at the start, I'm my own worst enemy. So I'll get somewhere and I'll be like, okay, it's not good enough. I need to work harder. I need to push further. It's so hard. There's so many talented people out there. There's so many amazing people that I just look up to and that motivate me and inspire me. And I'm like, can you just wait so I can catch up a little bit? Just let me catch up.
Yeah.
There's like so many people that are just unbelievable. And it's I'm not even close yet. I need to push harder, but I believe in myself. I believe I will get there one day. I believe that I can.
Definitely.
One day.
That's what takes to be a greatest, I guess, at anything. To not to let anybody catch up to you, I guess. Like Usain Bolt is coming to my mind right now when I said that. For some reason, I don't know, maybe I was watching a video of him lately, right? You never let anybody catch up to us, right? Like he's a real good example for that, I guess. Like, in the same lens, in Crump ways, I think we got the creators doing their best to not to let anybody catch up to them for sure, I guess.
But we're so lucky to have them. Because I mean, if like in many, because Crump is going to live on forever. So imagine, like, obviously we don't want to think about anyone passing, but 50 50 years down the line, 60 years down the line, whatever, these people that are going to come into Crump, they won't have the creators there present. So we are so lucky to have them. Like, do you know like how lucky we are to be learning Crump now and experiencing Crump now? And this is why I'm quite a conventional learner. So I like to learn things properly and do it correctly. I strongly believe in being obviously original, but I'm really strongly believe in like being authentic. I know times change and everything evolves, but me as a person, I like to know everything. So from the start right up until, you know, what it's evolved to. So then when we pass it down, it doesn't get watered down, and people know that like the rawness, you know, the most authentic way, because years and years and years to come, that we're not all going to be here. And then so it's up to the people below us to then pass it down. And then so it stays authentic. So yeah, we're so lucky to have these people.
So grateful when you say that. It's like a big recall to why I exist now. Like even to Crumb, it kind of changes my whole perspective. Thanks for saying that, because it is so true, right? The authenticity, the creators keep it real. Like they still keep it real, and in the future coming years, and they wouldn't be people, they wouldn't be feeling the same presence as we do. And I haven't met the creators in person yet, but I'm really looking forward to that. I know you have traveled to USA and around the world for Crumb. So tell us a little bit about your experience being at the Mecca of Crumb and meeting with the greats and your favorites, your big homie. Like, share a bit about that experience with us.
Oh, well, where do we start? I mean, first of all, shout out to Beast Camp, because they, without that event, I don't think I would have been able to have met so many of the OGs. I went to, I think it was 2018. They done the first big one, and then 2019, and then obviously 2020 didn't happen because Roro hit.
We were all hit by the same bomb, I guess.
So so I went to both of them. I went to the first one and I went to the second one, and so I was really lucky to have met Eyes and Miho, Crush, Riot, Miss Prissy, like so many of them. And I was obviously lucky enough to take workshops with them, but obviously lucky enough to session with them, and then go to stay there for a little while. Obviously it takes 8-9 hours to get to LA from where I am, so we didn't just go for the weekend. We made sure we went for a good week, 10 days, and so we went to a lot of sessions there. So we went to the 818, we went to the DC session, Beast Camp sessions, obviously, KBL. We've done a lot, and it's that nothing can beat the energy from a session like out there with them, like nothing. Crazy. And there was a point where I think it was, we were at the 818, and they were like, only the vets are allowed in the session. And then all the vets and vets and OGs, only the vets and OGs are allowed in the session. So then it was just OG after OG vet bouncing off each other, and I was like, this is a movie. Like, this is what I've been watching on YouTube, and I'm right here. Like, their sweat is just dripping like onto me. Like this is crazy. I could feel the air coming from their arm swings. Like, this is happening right now, and there's nothing that beats that energy. And I was just like, wow, I've gone to so many sessions around the world, and nothing beats that. Like, nothing. you can't help but just be lost in the hype and hyping, and like you just can't help but be lost in it and just move with it. Like you're not just standing there watching, you're there with them. You can't help but move and just yeah. I mean, they'd go on for the longest time. I remember it being like 5 a.m. I had to take a nap in the car and then come back out because I was so tired. And I was like, I don't want to miss it, but I can't keep my eyes open. So I went to the car, had a little nap, come back out, and eyes was still there in the session. He'd been doing it for like 3 hours, like 30 rounds deep, like it was crazy. It was crazy. You just had to fight to be able to see. And the session wouldn't just stay in one spot. It would just keep moving around because everyone would just be, the energy will move and shift. So it wouldn't just be like, okay, now you go. Okay, oh, who's going to go? No, you had to fight to get in there. The sessions there are just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. You have to experience it. There's nothing that will beat it. Nothing, I don't think, not in my eyes.
It's so crazy. Like just hearing you share that story, I can imagine of the energy and how it would have portrayed, and it's so crazy that you witnessed it. And as a fellow dancer, I've watched it in YouTube. Moreover, I've only got a glimpse of how it feels from other OGs came down to India, and when we had a chance to learn from them. And from your story, it gives me the whole picture. Now I cannot take it out of my head. Damn, I should witness it one time for sure. Thank you for sharing.
Definitely. That. Yeah, it's so like, I mean, when you start watching it, you're like, oh, I need to work. You're just mesmerized. Like, I thought I was getting quite good, but no, I need to go back. I need to train. I need to lab. I need to work. And it's intimidating as well, but it's just so raw. It's there's just something you just can't explain it. You whatever you just feel everything, like the energy that they're giving, you just feel it, and like it's just so real. That's the word. It's real. It's so real. It's not a showcase of like I'm the best. It's real. It's them. It's their lives, and it's just crazy. Like everything about it, from just the way they move, how they feed off each other, how they push each other, their hype, but also you can just see their raw emotion, and it's like I said, it's just real. Like it's not a front, it's real. So
it's more
it's
than
something
fun.
You definitely you definitely have to witness it. But then you'll go home and be like, okay, I'm rubbish, shut up. I need to work.
Like if you have a big paper, you gotta scratch down all the lab lessons that we learned. We're gonna start from scratch, and still they now let us catch up
again.
And they bring out whole new segments in Crumb. The creators and others in the US always brings out new approaches to Crumb, so that changes the whole dance form. And it's really fun to catch up and be at the same level. That will definitely happen with anybody who's working hard for it, and you're definitely one of them, and you inspire me.
Thank you. I'll never reach their level though. I'll never reach their level. They're just there's something else. Crazy.
That's different. You're real too. Everybody's real. You're real too. It's crazy. So
thank you.
So it really kind of shows how much travel have molded you as a person and molded you as a crumper. So we learned that how it molded you as a crumper. How would you say? How would you say it affected your life just by traveling for crump, and also to meet so many people? How did it reflect on your life?
Oh, I think traveling is probably like one of the well, not only is it like the best feeling, like connecting with like-minded people and sharing and exchanging with like-minded people and learning from each other. Uh, that's obviously like the best feeling, but actually it's also like the greatest lesson as well, because it really, you're really testing what you've been doing at home and your comfort zone, and getting out of your comfort zone to an area that's, it's not your territory. It's like, you know, are you, you know, it's not your home. You know, when you're home, you're comfortable and you're happy. When you're out of that and you're put into, because I mean, I've gone to so many places, and I'll battle someone from that town or that country, and I'll get like zero hype, and that's really hard, you know, like to process mentally, because you're like, oh, these people don't like me, they hate me, they don't like what I'm doing. Oh, I feel really bad about myself now. And sometimes that can get to you, but it actually teaches you, like, you need to really work for this, because you're in their territory. So let's work for it, let's push harder. And, you know, whatever you've been doing at home, you need to up it, and everything that you've been training and labbing on, you need to make sure that you really did train, you really did lab it, and you really have got something. That for me has helped me grow, because I haven't got my friends there with me to hype me up, and you know, you just don't have that. But then when you're there, you obviously get to connect with people and make friends, and you know, just make new friends, and just become, I don't know, more present, I guess, is the word. Because I don't know, traveling, I think really like is amazing for connecting with people, but it's amazing for learning as well, because you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to, and then you get to actually connect with people that you want to learn from as well. Because before the pandemic, no one used to do things online. So if you wanted to learn from someone, you had to travel there to meet them and learn from them, or hope they come to your town, hope they come to your country. But now, obviously, since the pandemic, we had to find new ways to connect. So there's loads of ways that we were able to connect with loads of people we were able to connect with through Zoom, because we could only do online. We couldn't travel to each other's countries and go to these events and go to workshops. So in a way, the pandemic helped a lot of people that couldn't travel before the pandemic, because we were able to connect with people a little bit more easier. And those people who didn't travel before and then didn't use this opportunity to connect with people online, like through Zoom labs and Zoom sessions and Zoom tournaments and, you know, workshops and all that, then you're just hurting yourself now, because you had that opportunity to do it from your own home. A lot of people want things, but they make a lot of excuses why they can't have these things, rather than actually, okay, I want this, so let's make a plan to see if I can get this. There's a lot of people that I know that have said they want to travel, but maybe they haven't got a passport. And it's like, okay, you know, that's too bad. But then now a lot of things are online. So now what's your excuse? Because where are you?
You don't need passport anymore. All you have to do is go to internet and a clean plan, as you said, at least schedule your time to learn from anybody around the world, and we can learn any skill right now. It's so accessible. The world has changed. That's so crazy.
It has changed. It has changed.
So what would you tell a young girl who's really confused, maybe in her 16 or 18 or early teens? What would you tell her, like from your own experience, in order to be a great adult, or great at whatever she's planning to become in the future?
Oh, okay. Okay, so I mean, what? This I don't know how to approach this question,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't say that I'm a great adult, because I make a lot of mistakes.
Mm.
And I'm human. No
Yeah.
one's perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, but I have to learn from them. So I think with every loss, actually, there's a lesson.
Mm.
So you have to. I think there's a lot of pressure on people to succeed, and succeed from an early age, and do things like at the top of the game. Whatever it is that you're doing, you have to be the top, you have to be the best. But people forget that there's a journey to get there, and you may never be the best at anything, but you can only be the best of yourself. You can only better yourself. So one thing I say, don't compete with anybody else, and don't compare yourself with anybody else. Only ever work on bettering yourself, because the more that you need to chase your dream and not your competition. So try to just focus on your dream and your goal to get to where you want to go, and not try to on this side eye, or what are they doing, oh they're doing this much better, oh they're there and I'm still here. The more that you're watching the other person, you're just going to watch them level up to wherever they want to go, and then you're still like, oh I don't know, where's my level at? So ignore the competition, ignore anybody else, and focus on yourself. So try not to compare, try not to compete, and just work on yourself. And also try to have realistic goals. Work on small goals to then add up to the big goal, because a lot of people make really unrealistic goals. It's like when it comes to a new year, and people have their New Year's resolutions, and they put down their New Year's resolutions, and it's something that you can't physically keep up with or get in a year. So be realistic with your goals, and work on little plans that will then mount up to the bigger picture. Because as you're achieving these little goals, it feels good to achieve. So you're going to be you're uplifting yourself. It's like, yes, I've done that. Okay, now what's next? Okay, let's try this. And you'll keep, the more that you keep achieving these little goals, the more it's going to uplift you. But you always have to think about the journey of success. You will fail, and you will fail 10 times more than you will succeed, because like I said, every failure has a lesson. And the most successful people fail the most, because they have to fail and learn and improve until they reach a level of success. But no one sees the journey. And a lot of times with social media, people put out the best parts of them, or the filtered parts of their life, the positive side. So people are going back to comparing again. Shouldn't compare, but you look and you see they're just naturally great. No, everyone has their journeys, everyone has their failures, but we don't voice it a lot. So be prepared to fail and learn to lose, because that's going to then help you to succeed. And remember that the journey that you see of everybody else's, you're just going to see the good points, you'll see the success, but you won't see the heartache and the pain and the struggle that comes with it. So to the 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, maybe you haven't got your life figured out yet. I didn't have my life figured out at that time. I was just enjoying life.
Yeah.
There's no, there's, I think there should be no, like, at this point you need to be here, at this point you need to be here, at this point you need to be here. No, some of the most successful people didn't even know what they wanted to do until they were in their 30s, and then didn't become successful until after that. So I think don't put too much pressure on yourself, but then also get out of your comfort zone, because anything worth having doesn't come for free and it's not easy. So if you want something, you do have to work for it. Try not to be that kind of person that's going to sit back and just be like, oh, you know, this will happen. You have to make things happen. They say everything happens for a reason in life, and sometimes I believe in that, but maybe the reason things aren't happening is because you're not putting the effort in. So I would always say, you want something, work for it, put in the effort, make goals, little and realistic goals, but also dream big. But don't be like, okay, I want this, and start here and expect to just go there. No, you need to staircase it until you get there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you try to jump there, nope, you're just going to fall, and you're just going to keep falling. It's like, okay, well, this isn't working, so I give up. But if you staircase it, eventually you'll get there.
That's so amazing.
Hopefully that's helped.
A lot of things. You shared so much wisdom in that question. That question was a deep question, and I think you handled it really well and gave out so many good life lessons on that from your experience. We all can relate to that, definitely. And I like the crumb graph you did with concepts. I love that too.
You can have it, use it. I want to see it in your next round.
Probably I'll do that. You know, all these cuttings and arm placements, crazy. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Cool. You're welcome. You're welcome.
It was so lovely to talk to you, Reps. Like, how do you feel about the show? And what do you think? Who do you think should be on it next?
Oh, okay. So the show, I think, is amazing. I love it. I can talk for England. I can speak so much, but sometimes I go on and I don't even know what I'm saying. So I just go off on a tangent. So I don't know if I was like the best person for the podcast, but I really hope that I was able to give something to someone, and hope that someone like took something from it. And I hope they enjoyed listening to me. But for people to come onto the podcast, oh wow, there's so many people. There's so many people that you could speak to. I think Wave is Kid Eyes. He is the greatest. You could speak to him all day. We both obviously connected through Wave's classes.
Yes.
And he's more like, you know, like all of us, the way he was speaking to us, it was more than just Crump, and he's got a lot to say, and a lot you can learn from him. Like, everyone can learn from him. I think Beast is amazing as well. That I can listen to them all day and just learn so much just from just listening to them. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of who would be great on a podcast. I think everyone's got a story to tell. Like I said before, everyone has you know, a journey in their story. Definitely. So I think
like, thank you for those suggestions. I love them already, and they have a lot to contribute. That's why they're the greatest. They contribute so much to the crumb community, as well as they push hard. Crazy. Such amazing teachers, such amazing human beings. And also I would like to say it was a pleasure having you on the show, and your story really gave me an insight of how we all are really connected to one another. And no, there are bad things happen to us in different aspects of life. Maybe it's because of relationship, or is it because of an health issue, and how we rebuild is an amazing motivation, where we understand about ourselves and understand about the people around us and why they are the support system for us. And that's what really made me think and wanted to invite you on the podcast. And
thank you.
Yeah, it was so lovely to talk to you, and so lovely you accepted the invite and to be here and share your story. And your story is amazing and a priority for us to learn from. Yeah. I would
thank you. Well, I hope I'm not very like I said before, I talk so much, but I'm actually not very good at explaining and talking. So I'm sorry if it didn't make a lot of sense, but I hope that, like I said, I hope some people enjoyed it.
It definitely did. I just wanted to quote something from a movie, from a Tamil movie, right, from South India. So there is this word called Singapenne, right? This means lioness, right?
Lioness.
Yeah. So when I was telling my mom that I'm going to interview and I shared a bit of your story, she was like, okay, you should put Singapenne into the title or somewhere, or you should tell her what Singapenne means, because that's how powerful women are in the world, right? They are lioness.
Oh my God.
That was crazy. So I just thought I would share that to you.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? When I was at college, I was at dance college, my teacher, I used to always have to do the male part because I was really strong. So I'd always doing like the lifting and stuff. And she used to call me a lioness, which is mad. She'd be like, we need the lioness over there, and it will be me, so I could like help with the lifts and everything. So that's mad that you just call me the lioness. That's mad.
It's lovely. See how the universe is connected in different ways, I guess. So my mom actually gave me this idea, and it got really connected, and I thought you are one, and apparently you have a story to connect to that too. That's crazy. So amazing. Yeah. So it was so lovely to talk to you. I think we need more time to reconnect, and we'll definitely looking forward to have you on the show in the future as well, once the show is much more bigger than what it is today, so that we can talk about so many things in the future. Like, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And next time I will be. Oh no, the pleasure is mine. No, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sticking around to the entire episode. If you like the content and you think it's useful, please go ahead and share it with a friend or a family member. Also, you can find this entire episode for free on Spotify under the Vibe Check. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, and also click on the notification button for future contents at your fingertips. Have a fabulous week. Peace out.